Maliki Poison of the Past delivers a heartfelt narrative wrapped in striking hand-drawn art and clever platforming. The emotional depth of the story unfolds beautifully, touching on themes of identity, trauma, and self-acceptance with surprising nuance. Every frame feels alive, thanks to fluid animations and a distinct visual style that stands out immediately. Puzzles are smartly integrated, never breaking immersion, and the gameplay flows smoothly alongside the unfolding drama. It's a short, powerful journey that resonates deeply both visually and emotionally, a true hidden gem worth experiencing. Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter is a gritty, wonderfully hand-drawn sequel that expands on everything excellent about the first. The fighting seems tighter and more violent, with rewarding parries and difficult boss encounters that keep you on edge. Exploring the winter landscapes provides a new layer of mood, and the plot is full of heart and heroism. Reggie's adventure feels more personal this time, as the environment is full with detail and peril. It's a challenging yet gratifying trip that's difficult to put down.
And show no Earth still even exists.
Beyond Galaxyland is a classic sci-fi adventure game in which players travel across a solar system full with diverse worlds. Players must navigate strategic turn-based warfare against cosmic opponents, each with its own skills. Players can catch monsters for fight, each having their own unique skills. Beyond Galaxyland has an engaging plot, a diverse band of allies, and over 25 boss encounters against the universe's most infamous villains. Players can gather animals for further confrontations and create new armor and consumables.
Power manipulating reality from behind.
Celestia Chain of Fate is a compelling romance fantasy visual novel that transports players on an exciting adventure. As a duke's daughter, the protagonist finds her hybrid heritage, which can be traced back to Angelus and Damon. She is welcomed to the Academy of Celestia, a mystical world populated by demons and angels. The game allows players to discover their ancestors' mysteries and use their magical abilities. They must form strong bonds with 3 endearing characters, each having their own distinct characteristics.
Walk in the pond.
Duck Detective is a gripping mystery game that sends players on a quest to discover the truth about a dark and twisted sausage plot. The game follows a foolish duck that becomes engaged in a bizarre sausage conspiracy that threatens the tranquility in his pond community. Players must utilize their excellent observational abilities to fill in the gaps in the story and solve complex riddles. The game features complete voice acting, which brings the characters to life and enhances the plot. Players can also employ the unique mechanism of tossing bread for justice to divert or earn suspects' trust. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is packed with rich pixel art, strategic turn-based combat, and an epic scope that rewards exploration. The massive roster of characters adds depth and variety, each with distinct personalities and roles in battle. Town building and side quests are engaging without dragging down momentum. It hits a great balance between nostalgia and modern design. With solid pacing and satisfying progression, it's a game that keeps players invested across its lengthy journey.
Damn corpses defile my home!
Avoid Hope is an atmospheric game with a unique and interesting storyline. Players must solve puzzles, discover treasures, and navigate a universe full of mysterious environments. The game's antique graphics and somber lighting provide flashes of promise. The melancholy music, composed by Waveshaper, sets the tone for the trip. The primary goal is to avoid confrontation while uncovering mysteries within the city. Avoid Hope is best appreciated on a wet, poorly light night and provides a gripping and immersive experience. Madshot is a refreshing take on the run-and-gun genre, combining vibrant pixel art with engaging gameplay mechanics. The controls feel intuitive, allowing players to focus on strategic movement and precise shooting. The variety of weapons and enemy types keeps the action interesting without becoming repetitive. Levels are well designed with clever layouts that encourage exploration and quick reflexes. The soundtrack complements the intensity, adding energy to every encounter. A solid pick for those looking for fun and retro vibes. Die After Sunset keeps things energetic with its vibrant roguelike loop and evolving levels. Each run changes just enough to keep the action feeling fresh without becoming overwhelming. Combat stays punchy, with enemies that shift when the sun goes down, adding a fun twist. The cartoon visuals pop with color, while the upbeat tone keeps the mood light even in chaos. Smart upgrade choices and unlocks give a nice sense of growth. Great for short bursts or extended sessions, the game keeps calling back for one more run. Strayed Lights is an immersive action-adventure set in a corrupt and shadowy universe. Players go on the role of a newborn light, battling malformed monsters and changing renegade siblings. To enhance the atmosphere, the game employs visual storytelling and a creepy music. The basic goal is to restore the light while also unlocking additional skills as you advance. Players must also deal with renegade siblings that are governed by their emotions, as well as confront their own demons. The realm of Valthiria has been threatened by an old dragon for more than 10 years. The hero school is about to be revived, and kingdoms must band together to confront this malicious power. The school's management is critical, and the curriculum is intended to prepare kids for combat. The school's leadership has a direct influence on pupils' achievement in quests. Students participate in strategic turn-based battle, planning, predicting, and carrying out their actions. They also take part in leisure activities such as swimming, fishing, eating, and snowman building contests. Kraino Origins hits the mark with classic retro vibes and clever level design. The pixel art pops with just the right amount of menace and flair, while the action feels responsive and satisfying. Boss fights are fun without being frustrating, and each stage introduces just enough variety to keep things engaging. Music keeps the mood intense, and the pacing stays snappy. It's clear the developers know what made old-school action games tick and built around that passion. A solid throwback that respects its roots. Guns N' Runs is a visually attractive platformer with action and shooting aspects, created with hand-drawn pixel art. Players take on the role of 8 trained conspiracy squad members on a dangerous expedition to enter a bunker in the Atacama Desert. The game includes nearly 200 trials and 23 monsters, each of which focuses on the squad members' distinct storylines. The controls are simple and straightforward, but the game's intricacy necessitates considerable expertise. Players must arm themselves with weapons, protect themselves from attack, and master their dash to chain powerful actions. Serial Cleaners sets the scene with a sharp 90s vibe and smart stealth mechanics. Switching between 4 unique cleaners keeps the missions fresh, with each character adding new tools and strategies. The soundtrack hits hard with retro flair, and the art style backs it all with gritty flair. Sneaking through crime scenes while dodging patrols and cleaning up messes creates steady tension without becoming overwhelming. A clever concept paired with stylish execution makes this one easy to revisit and hard to forget. In Dungeons 3 Nintendo Switch Edition, players must create an astonishing subterranean dungeon and gather a scary army of monsters such as orcs, succubi, and zombies. The game is accessible in both docked and portable modes. Under new leadership, players must steer the combined forces of evil, led by the malicious Empress Thalia, to triumphant victory. The game includes 20 difficult missions and about 20 hours of gameplay. Players may also enjoy a variety of skirmish settings, as well as a swarm of monsters and creatures with distinct skills. In February 1945, Gerda Larson, a young nurse, is torn between her community devotion and her desire to save her husband. Her decisions will have an influence on her future and the lives of countless others. The game is a story-driven RPG in which you utilize your personality traits, alliances, and available resources to influence Gerda's path. Documenting Gerda's adventures in her journal earns her personality skill points, which may be used at critical moments to unlock unique actions, establish trust, or stay hidden. Your decisions will eventually result in various significant endings.
This around me feels suffocating.
Chronicle Rising is a fascinating journey amid ancient ruins and the narrative of a town's rehabilitation following an earthquake. The heroes, enticed by the riches in the rune barrows, help the town rebuild and settle disputes between adventurers and townspeople. They learn about each other's motivations for pursuing riches and strengthen their connections. The rune barrows conceal a secret with disastrous ramifications for one individual, turning the treasure search into a terrible plot that will rock the globe.
Lightning.
In this amazing world creation sandbox, you may create your own worlds and cultivate a profound relationship with all they include. As the last of the Everheart alchemists, you are the last to nurture and safeguard the Evertree, a seedling whose grandeur has long been forgotten. Discover unusual locations, learn to make world seeds through alchemy, and build new worlds with distinctive features. Meet new people and build a community by assisting them in finding a place to live, landing their ideal job, or gifting them with accessories and decor. Tears of Avia is a tactical RPG with a solid turn-based combat system and a good range of character classes. The skill customization allows for meaningful strategy, and the anime-inspired visuals work well with the game's tone. Dialogue is voiced, and the writing, while light, adds personality. Combat maps are nicely varied, and the game runs without hiccups. It's easy to get absorbed in leveling characters and trying out new team combos. A reliable choice for those who enjoy building parties and thinking a few steps ahead. DUSK is a classic first-person shooter that transports players on an exciting adventure through the Earth's deep depths. With 3 separate campaign episodes, players may immerse themselves in a thrilling gaming experience complete with a large arsenal of lethal weaponry. DUSK features a compelling primary storyline, as well as an endless survival mode that tests players' abilities and endurance. A new endless level has also been added, resulting in the most immersive and comprehensive DUSK experience yet. Okinawa Rush hits hard with its fast martial arts combat, responsive controls, and retro pixel art that feels straight from the arcade days. The combo system rewards precision, while enemy variety keeps each encounter intense. Soundtrack pumps adrenaline into every stage, matching the tight level design. The story, though simple, adds flavor to the action, and character animations carry satisfying weight. A great pick for those craving challenge, style, and side-scrolling intensity without fluff. Few action games strike this balance so confidently. TOEM is a delightful little photo adventure filled with peaceful exploration, clever moments, and relaxing vibes. Each region is distinct, filled with fun characters and creative puzzles that encourage curiosity. The black and white art style adds a cozy touch, while the camera-based gameplay feels fresh without being overwhelming. Its humor is light, and the objectives never feel like a chore. With a short runtime and no pressure, it's a calm journey worth taking, perfect for anyone needing a break from loud or stressful games. Necrobarista is a visual novel set in Melbourne, Australia. The plot focuses on the Terminal, a coffee cafe that serves both living and deceased clients. The characters, including Maddie, Che, and Ashley, are a pleasant and sardonic bunch that assist consumers accept their fate. The game is not a typical game, but rather a trip through the protagonists' lives with new spirits entering and doing havoc. The narrative is a gripping investigation of mortality, loss, and the unavoidable passage of time with a delightful cast, quick writing, and a delicate balance of comedy. Tales of Iron sets a grim tone with its hand-drawn art and challenging combat. The world feels alive, from the crumbling villages to the ambient sounds of battle. Combat demands precision and patience, rewarding those who learn enemy patterns. The story, narrated by Doug Cockle, adds weight without dragging. Every boss fight feels earned, not forced. Its pacing keeps things steady, with upgrades and exploration adding meaningful progress. Zengeon is an anime-infused action RPG and roguelite game with 6 distinct characters and multiple playstyles. The Celestial Academy, which has been protecting a seal in the Blessed Land for generations, is essential to the game. However, during the lunar eclipse, the Dark Emptiness is released, compelling players to select one of 6 playable characters, each with their own set of talents and powers. The game has infinite replayability, allowing players to change their strategy and construct characters dynamically. Cooperative gamers can form groups of up to 3 buddies.
And his great sword, of the purest.
Eldest Souls is a brutal boss rush action RPG that rewards patience, precision, and perseverance. Its pixel art style is sharp and atmospheric, matched with a tense soundtrack that sets the tone for every encounter. Combat feels deliberate, with each strike carrying weight and consequence. The skill tree allows for real customization, encouraging different approaches to each fight. For those seeking a tough challenge with rewarding progression, this game stays satisfying throughout without ever feeling unfair or repetitive. Quantum Replica sneaks through a neon-soaked cyberpunk world with confidence, relying on stealth and time manipulation to build tension. The retro-futuristic art direction and synth-heavy soundtrack set a strong mood, while gameplay keeps things grounded with smart level design and satisfying upgrades. Each area feels distinct, and sneaking past enemies or freezing time never gets old. There's just enough challenge to stay engaged without frustration. It's a solid stealth game with a sharp aesthetic and clever mechanics that reward patience and timing. Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World is a charming revival of a classic that brilliantly blends retro nostalgia with modern polish. The vibrant visuals pop with color, and the updated mechanics make platforming feel smooth and responsive. Asha's bond with her adorable pet Pepalogu adds a fun twist to exploration and puzzle solving. The soundtrack is upbeat and perfectly suits the game's whimsical tone. Whether you're revisiting the series or diving in for the first time, this heartfelt remake delivers a delightful adventure packed with heart and personality. Cathedral is a retro-style action platformer with a massive interconnected world, clever secrets, and satisfying combat. The pixel art feels authentic without leaning too hard into nostalgia, and the level design keeps exploration rewarding. Boss fights are challenging but fair, with tight patterns that demand attention. The soundtrack carries a nostalgic punch, enhancing the sense of adventure. With its solid pacing and plenty to discover, this game proves that classic design still has a lot of life when done with confidence and care. Golden Force hits hard with retro-style action and vibrant pixel art. The combat feels punchy, with just enough challenge to keep each stage exciting. Boss battles come with flashy patterns and satisfying payoffs, while the upbeat soundtrack fuels every slash and dash. Each level packs personality, making replays feel rewarding. It's got that classic arcade spirit, with tight controls and quick pacing. A solid pick for those who crave pure action and don't mind a bit of old-school toughness mixed with humor and flair. One More Gate. A Wakfu legend sets up a solid deck-building adventure with strategic depth and a vibrant art style. The combat feels rewarding, with satisfying synergies that grow stronger as progression continues. Every run feels like a step forward, thanks to meaningful upgrades and clever enemy design. The lore-rich world adds flavor without overwhelming, and the animations stay sharp throughout. A consistent balance of challenge and progression keeps the pace enjoyable. A strong pick for anyone who enjoys thoughtful battles and roguelike structure.
creatures in your party to fight alongside you.
Ninth Dawn 3 is a massive open-world dungeon crawler packed with loot, enemies, and secrets. The retro visuals give it an old-school RPG vibe while the combat and skill system add depth. Tons of weapons, pets, and crafting keep things interesting for hours. It's easy to get lost in the world with so much to explore and conquer. There's a real sense of progression, and the soundtrack suits the adventure well. A great choice for those looking for a deep, content-rich game with a nostalgic feel.
Here has just the thing. First,
Rhythm Fighter is a colorful, punchy roguelike where each move syncs perfectly with the beat. Combat rewards timing over button mashing, making every battle feel like a dance. The soundtrack slaps hard, keeping momentum high even during tough runs. Characters and enemies are fun to look at, and the randomization keeps things fresh without feeling unfair. It's easy to get into, but hard to master, with just enough chaos to stay exciting. Great for anyone who enjoys rhythm and action mashed together in a funky package. Wargroove 2 builds smartly on its predecessor with refined mechanics, deeper strategy, and a fresh roguelike mode that keeps things exciting. The pixel art is detailed and vibrant, matched by a rousing soundtrack that fits every turn. Commanders each feel distinct, encouraging varied tactics. The campaign is well-paced, with engaging maps that reward careful planning. There's real satisfaction in mastering each battle. It's a game that respects thoughtful play and continues to grow in depth the longer it's explored. Wildfrost brings a fresh tactical edge to the deck-building genre, pairing thoughtful combat with an appealing art style. Battles demand careful planning, as every move can shift momentum. Each run feels unique, with a variety of companions and cards to experiment with. The roguelike loop encourages smart decision-making and rewards adaptability. Difficulty ramps up fairly, keeping players engaged without feeling unfair. This is a smart, strategic game that respects time and skill, making each session feel rewarding and worth coming back to. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked any one of these games, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hope to see you on the next one. And stay awesome.
In the face.